So today I wanted to do a deep dive into AMD stock. It is my favorite stock and also the stock that's made me the most amount of money in the past year and a half that I've been investing. My price average on the stock is 96 and currently it's trading at just under $500. I've made 404% gain on the stock so far, and I want to just dive into it and let you guys know what I think about it, where I think the price is going, a little background on the company, and without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, if you guys don't know what AMD does, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what their business model is. They are a semiconductor company and they specialize in GPUs, CPUs, and adaptive chips. They have four main core businesses. The most important one of these would be data center business. And what they do here is they sell their GPUs, CPUs, in packages to big data centers like Google, Microsoft, Meta, OpenAI, etc. And this is the main driver of their growth because all of these companies, these big companies that are going to be buying all of these chips from AMD, have been expanding their capex, which is the amount of money that they're basically putting to buying chips, and it's been growing by a larger and larger percentage every year, which is why some of those companies, Meta, are down right now because their capex is going so crazy because they're buying all of the AMD chips. Their client business is where they sell processors and chips for just normal laptops that everyday people buy. Um, Gaming is pretty much the same thing except for gaming laptops and stuff like that. And embedded is cars, aerospace, defense. It's integrated like systems into those. And of these, obviously, data center is the biggest one. It's growing the most. Client and gaming are just kind of there, provide like a little extra revenue, and embedded provides like a steady stream of like predictable revenue for AMD. And one more thing to note, I always say that when you're investing in a company, you're also basically investing in the CEO. And AMD CEO Lisa Su has been there, I think, since 2014 or 2012, but basically she turned the company around from basically going bankrupt to where they are today. So she is a very good CEO. When you're investing in a company, you either want to have the founding CEO or you want to have like a very good CEO who knows what they're doing. And Su knows what she's doing. So that's another plus for the company. Um, what AMD's advantage is they're basically the underdog, or they were. Now obviously the stock has gone up a lot, but they were the underdog to take market share in both the CPU and GPU market. So for so long, Nvidia has had total pricing power over their GPUs, and they've been able to make ridiculous margins and charge crazy rates because there's no one else for companies to buy from. And AMD wasn't that great at the time, but now that their chips have improved a lot, they're starting to compete with NVIDIA, which means that they're going to start taking market share from NVIDIA, which is a very good thing. And even if the other companies slow down their spending, AMD is going to still continue to take market share, which is why I like the company so much. And pretty much the same thing goes for the CPU market as well with Intel. And the stock has obviously run up quite a bit since when I bought it, closing at just under 500 today. But I still think that there is a lot of room to grow because I think that the company long term in the next 3 years, 4 years, should probably be worth somewhere around $1,000. Of course, stocks don't always move at the rate you would think they would. Sometimes they front run all of the growth, which is what happens with a lot of tech names. So I wouldn't be surprised if AMD ran to 1,000 within the next year or two. But basically, at current values, I do think it is a buy. And I couldn't get into all of the statistics with all the PE ratios and revenue growth and this and that, but I feel like a lot of other people have already talked about that. You can also just run your own numbers on it. But basically, I just want to talk about the sentiment behind the name and my conviction behind buying it because I feel like that's almost more important. Um, Another thing to note is that they haven't had a crazy earnings beat just yet. And I think that this next quarter that they're reporting pretty soon, they're going to just come blow all expectations out of the water. And they're going to do this for the next two, three, 4 quarters, which is just going to make the stock price jump extremely high. Also, because the analyst ratings are going to have to increase as well with it, which is basically just going to compound on top of everything and just push the stock price higher. Um, Whenever a beat comes out, the analysts that are bullish on the name, which is pretty much everyone, they can't have their price target for end of year be below where the name is at or around the same price. So they're going to be forced to raise it, which kind of boosts up the stock price. So it's kind of a compounding thing. And I think that AMD is about to post some record breaking quarters, which is really going to help accelerate the stock price growing. So today, would I buy AMD? I think I would if I didn't have a position from the highs. I think it hit around 600. No, 580. Okay. So a high of 580. It's down $80 from the high. I mean, I think it's a buy. I think it easily goes 1,000 within the next 2, 3 years. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1 year when it hits it, but I think in the next month or two, it should be at 600, could be 700. And I think that in the short term, in the long term, or at least until it gets to 1,000, it's a very good buy. I think that I would probably start trimming my position if it did hit 1,000. But until then, I think it is an excellent buy. It's a excellent company, excellent CEO, and I was lucky to get into it when I did last year. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see any more videos, I plan on doing a deep dive into all the rest of my names in my portfolio. We have Celsius, Elf, Nebus now, Rubric, and SoFi. Plus, I might be adding a new position soon. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.